Every time I start trying to make a video about Cobra Kai Season 6, Part 2, there's just this little voice in my mind that just happens to keep saying,
Quiet! 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 Oh, you quiet! 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 Quiet!
Cobra Kai Season 6, Part 2, Episode 6. Opens with the Sekai Tekai. We're finally beginning on that. We've been going on it about, the last, I'm going to say, season and a half, 2 seasons. It's been building the culmination of this ever since you've been watching the first season, which was originally on YouTube Red. And that thing fully collapsed. Nobody thought the show would be any good. Everybody thought it was just probably just a write off. It was just some random thing. Turned into a really good, fun show. Very 80s, 90s, karate themed ridiculousness. And the biggest thing to take away from this series as a whole is do not take it seriously. It is ridiculous, but it is fun. That's what I miss a lot, and a lot of this stuff is fun. So, anyways, it opens up with the Sekai Takai. All the teams have specific captains to represent them as a whole for their team, but each episode kind of has different challenges that the teams have to overcome uh, throughout these episodes, and it's a lot of drama and stuff in between them. Overall, I like it. I miss a lot of the fun quips and the ridiculousness that the first, like, I want to say, first couple seasons had. But anyways, let's go from there. So the captains of Miyagi Do is Robbie Keane and Sam LaRusso. So Johnny's kid and LaRusso's kid. Cobra Kai has Quan, which he's kind of a newer character. He was introduced, I believe, last season. And then the female captain is a surprise female captain, which is Tori Nichols, who is basically Sam LaRusso's like arch enemy throughout the series so far. And then they bring back one of the senseis. The sensei is Kreese, who is obviously like one of Johnny's and LaRusso's main arch enemies. Like it's the whole thing's absurd, whatever. But you know what? I have fun watching it, and at this point, I'm gonna watch the rest of it because whatever. I have a good time watching it. Now they introduce a bunch of other teams from different countries and stuff, but the main one to look out for, the true threat, is a team called the Iron Dragons, which their captain is Axel and Zara. Axel's kind of basically like a Dolph Lundgren knockoff, basically. So a little more 80s, 90s references going on there. And Zara, I don't know if she's supposed to represent a certain character because she does like social media stuff and whatever. But as far as this episode goes, like they seem unstoppable. Anyways, so they introduce all of them, and then there's two different gatherings that go on. All the kids go on, or all the kids from the karate dojos go on their own little, I don't know, school trip kind of thing. Almost is what it feels like, and they go to like an aquarium. They're all out, and I believe it's yeah, what is it, Spain or something. They're whatever, the whole thing is absurd. Anyways, they go there and all the kids have like a kicking contest, and Robbie kind of beats the highest score, but then Quan beats him to win their room. So there's a little bit of the build up from the drama from them. And then it kind of goes over to where all the senseis are at. All the senseis are at like a just a regular meetup with all the different sponsors and different karate sponsors and whoever else. It's kind of ridiculous, but it's all they're all mingling and trying to get their names out there and trying to get their dojos represented. And then Chosen shows up drunk, like he is plastered because his girl rejected him, and then he makes a fool of himself, and through that, it makes Miyagi-Do look bad. Kreese makes some like kind of mundane threats, but that's kind of quickly put off because they're dealing with Chosen. I don't really care. And so that, I mean, this is only the first episode of the five episode part, because they split this season into three parts, which I do not like. Netflix is like, we're going to do 1 through 5, 6 through 10, and then 11 through 15, and that's how they're going to end it. I think it's just obviously drag it on out and make people stay on and whatever. It's like, I, Netflix is more known for just dropping everything all at once, and I think it might have been maybe a better idea, and then people could have got their opinions about it out there a little quicker and a little more coherently, because everything's so split up. It's like, even watching this, I'm like, oh, now I got to remember what the last five were for, what was it, 3 or 4 months ago, and then what's it going to be, 2 or 3 months from now before the last ones. So I feel, even though I'm going to try to do one of these per episode, and I'll do them every day or so, and then when the next one comes out, maybe I'll be more on top of it. But yeah, we'll go from there. So, anyways, so the tournament begins, and Miyagi-Do, they get enough points basically to get through the competition on what they're doing, but their strategy that they were going for is thwarted because Tori obviously she knows the Miyagi-Do thing, which is protect the egg. And she knows that, goes in there, breaks their defenses, and like, all the teams go about their stuff, and it ends up being Cobra Kai versus the Iron Dragons is for the first bout or whatever, and it's 3 versus 6, 3 Cobra Kai versus 6 of the Iron Dragons, and then 4 of the dragons drop down and just leave their captains, which are the 2 that you're supposed to drop to win this particular event, and those 2 captains drop them like it's nothing. So it puts them in a position to where they are a huge threat, almost to where it seems like they're unbeatable. It's kind of crazy. It's a kind of a weird way to start it, because the next episodes start showing a decrease in that. But this episode sets them up to be a force to be reckoned with, and it sets up a few other things that will come about for the next couple episodes. Overall, this episode was a fine reintroduction and start to this 5. It's basically 5 part, like they're like 3 little 5 part miniseries, and I've been enjoying it. I've liked this whole show as a whole. Like, there's a couple seasons that are not that great, and there's some ridiculousness you just need to throw to the side. But I mean, since I'm a fan of like 80s, 90s ridiculousness like this, I don't know, I'm on board. I have a good time with it. Uh, I would say this is not my favorite episode, and this part is part 2 of the season 6. Not my favorite overall, but there's some stuff that could be interesting in the end. I hope they end it solidly. I'll be doing a review in the next few episodes, and thank you for following along. Peace out.